What's going on, everybody? I promise you in just about 15 seconds, you're going to get to see me and Foots talk and recap Cowboys OTAs, but I just wanted to say really quick, go over to Foots' channel and subscribe. Less than 100 away from 40K. He's done so much for me and my channel and helping me out through this entire process, so I would really appreciate it if you guys will go down there. I'll put the link to his channel down below in the comments and the description of today's video. Thank you guys for going over there and showing him love. Now, enjoy the video.
Zach, we went through the process, and no, you can't even see my face. I don't want you to see nothing because I got the shiesty on. I'm so excited, and I'll just be honest with y'all. I'm just wearing this shiesty for the thumbnail. We got the thumbnail now. We are back, Zach. We went through the whole process of we just having a little fun, y'all. We went through the whole process, right, Zach? We went through the draft. Went to the Senior Bowl. We did the work. It was crazy. I had Aisha Morrison on yesterday. We went through the whole process, Zach, and we drafted a guard, right? And we haven't talked since, well, we did do Pickens once. And, Pickens is now running around as the Dallas Cowboy. Like, has it really still hit you, Zach, before we talk about OTAs? Like, has it hit you?
No, it hasn't, because I was telling you earlier, there's a video of him that the Cowboys posted on their Instagram of him, wearing a Cowboys jersey, running routes, and I'm like, this doesn't even seem real. I've had to watch it 20 times. I'll probably watch it 20 more times tonight and then go to bed. So, no, it does not feel real. Feels like this entire organization has a lot more life now than it did pre-draft.
Come on, Zach, and look at everything. You got your setup locked in. You look refreshed. Is like, man, I'm refreshed. I got a fresh shave. We're up, Zach. And so I wanted to talk to you. I hit you up. I said, Zach, let's recap the first day of OTAs. Let's get the hopium all the way up, and let's get the let's get the fans excited. And seriously, Zach, I think that this thing needs to be broken down in three kind of segments. There's Brian Schottenheimer's press conference, which hopefully this part of his game doesn't change, right? Like, he has been really good pressure wise, and you had some thoughts that we talked about pregame. I just want to go for it, Zach. But then also what was actually happening on the field, and then the locker room, like being able to talk to Pickens, and like being able to talk to CeeDee Lamb about Pickens, and being able to talk to Dak Prescott about Pickens, and like the vibe. So, Zach, you made a few points about how you felt about Schottenheimer's culture vibe that I haven't even heard these points yet. So what are you thinking? Just because he spoke well, man, like he brought up points. He wants the coaches locked in with these guys. So what are you feeling about, Brian Schottenheimer?
Everybody has talked about how he can talk to the public, how he can talk in his press conferences. And like James Slater, Bobby Bell, all of them, when the Cowboys hired him, that was the first thing they said. Like, he's a good dude, very relatable. People like him. He's a good speaker. And the more and more you hear him talk in these press conferences, everything that they said was true. Like, you're going to like him more and more. He's a people person. And he keeps saying it over and over. Like, that's his thing, is the culture. George Pickens has said it a bunch of times. Him and Pickens have hung out outside of the building. They ate dinner at the Star recently since he was traded for. Dak and Schottenheimer obviously have a great relationship. So just Brian Schottenheimer just has this way of connecting with people. And you kind of get that vibe just because it seems like in those interviews in the locker room that it's being repeated. Like, it's soaking in. People are going with the idea that culture matters. We need to be friends. We all need to, be there for each other. And it makes me wonder why he's so set on it. It might just be his personality, but it makes me wonder about Mike McCarthy. Like, I know it's an old thing, but did Mike not care that much about culture? And that was what Brian Schottenheimer really noticed. Like, what we're missing here is guys that can relate to each other, that truly love each other. And when it gets tough, they're not all pissed off and not talking. And it makes me wonder, but I am excited about what Schottenheimer brings to this team that maybe Mike McCarthy didn't.
I think you're spot on, because let's be honest, Zach, the only way that you're going to know these players in the line of fire is first, like, getting to know a little bit of their background. Okay. So, like, with Pickens, how were you raised? where were you raised? You know, how were you as a kid? And the only way you get to be able to break those walls down is doing stuff like eating with them. Like, I'm gonna just tell you right now, Bill Belichick isn't going to dinner with George Pickens when he becomes a Patriot. And he probably would never be a Patriot, but like, you get what I'm saying? Some coaches aren't gonna take that time. You know what they're gonna do? Hey, this is your second opportunity. You need to fall in line and I'll run the show. And I think that, to be honest with you, in today's NFL and today's professional sports, like, there just isn't that many Bobby Knight. John Machota made this point earlier when I was on with him. There isn't like that Bobby Knight, that Bill Parcells. It just doesn't work now because these guys know their worth. They know that they make more than you. They know what they can bring to a team. And you still have to discipline them. You still have to have structure. But I think the best way to get somebody to perform for you is really knowing who they are. And it seems like not only is he trying to, like, Brian's trying to do that, Zach, he's trying to make sure that the staff is doing that. And I think that's the contrast that I think you're talking about. Like, bro, was Mike Solari really trying to learn these guys, or was it just Mike showing up, coaching the scheme, going home? And there are coaches that do that. But hey, man, like, if you're trying to build something special, hey, you probably need to do some of this stuff. And again, this is a Brian Schottenheimer who's been around the NFL for 25 years. No, he has never been a head coach, but he's been in the league. His dad has been in the league was in the league for a long time. Like, this isn't some just like spring chicken when it comes to football. Some kid, some young guy out of college, Marcus Freeman, who I think will eventually be a good NFL head coach. But you get what I'm saying, Zach. So, not to be long-winded, but I understand and I appreciate your point.
And I think it comes down to, like you said, these guys knowing their worth, but not players being scared of the head coach, but that they don't want to let them down. You know what I'm saying? Like, they respect them so much. And some people will say, well, you can't be their friend. You have to, you have to be there and with structure and discipline and all of these things. But I think it's so much more powerful if they don't want to disappoint you. Like, not that you're going to yell at them, not that you're going to get onto them, you're going to sit them on the bench, not let them play for a half a game, but they just don't want to let you down. And I think that's kind of what Brian Schottenheimer is going to be, rather than a coach that's going to scream, sit them on the bench, and push them to the wayside. And, so I think it's a good way of connecting with these guys.
Nah, for sure, Zach. And let's be honest, this has been his message since he was drafted. It hasn't lost any steam. And now, with bringing in a guy like Pickens, it feels like it's even heightened. And so that's awesome. So, speaking of the draft and speaking of, getting these guys in, Zach, and seeing them do football things, Nick Harris had a tweet. He talked about some of the guys that were making plays. And let's be honest. Okay, we know what OTAs are, right? Like, we know it's learning how to practice, installs, right? He's putting in, he said it, third down today, and we're putting in who we want to be on certain packages. But, even a guy like Dak, like, he's so good at the line of scrimmage, he may be telling Pickens, hey, on this play, I want you to be here and break this a certain way based on coverages. But Nick Harris had a tweet, Zach, and he spoke about some of the guys who were just making plays. And like I said, I told you this before the show, right, Zach? It was like, listen, would you rather do something good, even if it's the first day, or would you rather, I'm just like kind of out there, or I'm dropping a pass, or no, any coach is going to be marking on, hey, he made a play in OTA, he made a play in training camp. This guy's ready, or this guy is not ready. Like, that's how you build your story. And so there are people who say, well, OTAs, they don't matter. It matters. All of it matters. It's literally all the offseason is these battles and all this stuff. It's literally all the offseason. So a few things that we took from it, Zach, and I want your thoughts. Nick Harris had a tweet. Okay, so he's talking about the linebackers playing well. He's talking about George Pickens looking the part. Y.A. Thomas is starting. But I'm gonna go here. Kevontae Turpin making a play, Cropper, all of it. And I won't dig too deep in that. And, Kyrie Elam, he looks fast and all that. Yeah. I want to talk about Brevin Spann-Ford, Zach. Brevin, according to Nick Harris, was unstoppable. That's a big word to use. That.
That's
What are you thinking?
a big word. Undrafted free agent, second year. And I think about it like this: like undrafted free agents don't typically come into the NFL and just get, opportunities right off the bat. I mean, fourth round picks barely come in and get like instant opportunities. So if Schottenheimer is somebody that's been here, he knows Brevin Spann-Ford. He might have liked him more than McCarthy, and he wasn't, getting the reps that maybe he want or that Schottenheimer thought he deserved or whatever. We don't know. But if there's going to be a turn in how much he plays, it's going to be this year, because you can say, oh, he's a second year player. He's been in the NFL for a year. Like he can do it now. An undrafted free agent goes out there and messes up. You're like, why is he even out there right now as a rookie? And this second year feels like it might be a step forward. And we really liked him coming out of college. Like his blocking ability, the receiving stuff needed a little bit of work. But if there's a quarterback that works extremely well with any tight end, it's Dak. Dalton Schultz, Jason Witten when he was at the back end of his career. And then you had Schultz, and then you have Ferguson, a fourth round pick. Now you might have Brevin Spann-Ford. Ferguson's coming off of a year where it's like, what is he? Where is he at in all of this? I personally have always been a Ferguson guy, but a down year like that, he's going into a contract year. We don't know where he's at. So it is interesting, and that's something I'm going to be watching. How are they lining Brevin up? What are they asking him to do? Is he a little bit more of an asset in the passing game? That's going to be a lot of fun. And I know you like Brevin Spann-Ford a lot.
You know what I've been telling myself, Zach? Shotty wants to run the ball. How does Brevin get on the field? 12 personnel, man. Yeah. Like, can he go kick those DNs? Can he go next level and be a threat in the blocking game versus those backers? You want to win the team over? Go block.
Yep.
In meetings and when they're going and watching the film, if they can point to the fact that you're blocking with purpose, I'm just saying, like, does he have more ability than Luke Schoonmaker? I don't know, but I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially if he's, like you said, Zach, if he's going to catch the ball a certain way, now we cooking with grease. Yeah. If you're going to do that part of it. So that was very interesting to me. Zach, OTAs, day one recap. Talk to John Machota, reading the tea leaves. That was interesting to me. Tyler Booker is in there with the ones. They're not playing around with this, Zach. Have you ever, I've asked a few people this, but I'm going to ask you, Zach, Double Move, the GOAT. Have you ever seen them just crown a guy so early?
I don't think so. But I remember McCarthy doing this, and it was so frustrating. That was like his thing. Just, this guy's got to earn it. This guy's got to earn it. Like, why is the first round pick with the third team? Like, in the NFL, you only get so many practices. These guys are only together so much. Why are we wasting time with formalities?
Yeah.
Why are we wasting time with formalities? Like, Brian Schottenheimer is not messing around. Like, you spent the 12th overall pick on this guy. Why are we going to say, go behind Hoffman, or Bass, like, no, just put him in there. Let him get used to the guys that he's going to be playing with.
Kick him out the nest. He's not going to be
playing with Awesome Richards at right tackle, just something weird. Like, I like that a lot too with Schottenheimer is it's not some weird formality. It lets you know that he's real because he thinks like all of us, like, put your first round pick in there and let's roll. So that's exciting too.
And I think that's the point that I wasn't even thinking about. Like, bro, you plan on him starting. It's your job to get him prepared into the gel process, right? Like, you want him to be able to gel. Lineman is 5 people playing as one. I mean, excuse me, your O-line unit is 5 people playing as one. They need to gel. They need to know certain things. And I think that's a point I hadn't even thought of. The lineman is, you're playing 5 as one, right? Like, they have to work in unison together. So that's a point I didn't even think of, Zach. So I think that's a great point. Now we need to talk about what was said in the locker room. And actually, no, let me do this too, Zach. I want to say this. People, the hopium and all that, it's really the Kyer Elam thing. I just want to say that I'm interested. When Nick Harris said that, Kyer Elam is, let me make sure I don't mess this up. But when Nick Harris said that, Kyer Elam was a guy that looked a certain way. Let me make sure that I got this, Zach. Kyer Elam loved the day. So he loved the day. This is terrible radio and podcasting, by the way. He loved the day by Kyer Elam on the outside. Here's the thing. If you can get, like, we're all talking about Pickens and a change of scenery. Zach, what if Kyer Elam just needed to change the scheme and to change the scenery? Now, I'm not saying that he has shown literally nothing to the caliber of George Pickens. Let's be honest. I mean, he's made a few plays, but he literally got benched. But like, what if Kyer Elam is that guy who, because he's only 24, Zach.
Yeah, and people are way too early, way too soon on the calling these guys bust. Like, I think you forget, like you said, he's 24 years old. Pickens is 24 years old. Like, these guys have been in the league for 3 years now, 4 years, and they're still young. It's not impossible. Does it happen, at an alarming rate? Like, first round picks go to another team and they show out, but it does happen. It's not impossible. Like, we've seen guys come to Dallas and resurrect their careers and then leave. Yeah. I mean, we saw it with Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn was Dallas got him for like a fifth round pick. He turned around and had like 13 sacks or something, and then
out of there.
Yeah, so it's like it's not
Fowler, and now he's back.
Yeah, and all of the tools that the reason he got drafted so high, they're still there. He's still that athlete. He apparently was blazing out there, like noticeable speed on the field. So a change of scenery, Matt Eberflus, maybe his confidence got ruined early in Buffalo, never really recovered, going somewhere else, new teammates, new defensive coordinator, new coach. I am not going to say it's impossible. And if it does happen, if he ends up becoming a piece in that room, it would help that corner room so much.
Well, think about it, Zach. That's one of the rooms that has an opening because we don't know when Diggs is going to be back. He's doing his documentary on rehabbing right now, but let's be honest, we still don't know when he's going to play. Savon Revel, we're excited about Revel, but we don't know when he's going to play. And so the opportunity is there. Go out, stack good days, Elam, and I think that he'll be a name to kind of watch during training camp.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, he's going to get an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like we're and corner is one of those positions that you can't hide. Like, he's going to be out there training camp against CD and Pickens. It's going to be sink or swim. You're going to find out early if him being in Dallas is gonna make a difference. And not having Diggs there, not taking up those first team reps, like, he'll probably get the chance early in camp to show what he's got.
Yes. And if you see some good battles, I'm not expecting him to win every rep versus George Pickens or CeeDee Lamb. These are top guys. But if you can compete, get a few breakups, show that you can keep up, show that you can play through their hands, and get the ball out, jar the ball out, I'm excited for you. Zach, I want to end with this, and I want your thoughts. Out of everybody you heard speak in the locker room, what kind of stood out to you the most? It's crazy. I'm not doing my job because I haven't listened yet because we've just been rolling. But you have, and you there were some interesting nuggets that you had from listening to Dak, listening to CD, and obviously listening to George Pickens.
CD was talking about how it's not a competition, like there's no ego things going on with this. And I do think that he was genuinely excited about Pickens getting there. Like, he texted him, one of the first ones to text him. And Pickens also said something about, like, he thinks everybody there is excited. Like, everybody has seemingly been excited about him being there. Dak said that Jerry reached out to him when it happened, or Jerry's assistant. And when Dak finally got to the phone, he's like, I got some good news. Like, it's happening. Like, it's happening later tonight, early tomorrow morning. Like, we got a receiver. So it's really been like a notch up on this offseason. I thought they had like a good plan up to this point with the draft and stuff, and getting out of the draft without a receiver was, whatever, but getting Pickens. And I think everybody, how we feel as fans, the excitement of having a chance, especially with the schedule that they have, being able to put up points this year. Like, I think it's bleeding into the locker room. Yeah. Having Brian Schottenheimer, having all the things that we've talked about today, having good practices, having Brian Schottenheimer, everybody in the locker room just seems like they're kind of on board. Like, we're getting this thing rolling. So it's exciting.
I want to ask you something, Zach. So you just said You just said having a chance, right? And you said Jerry Jones called Dak Prescott. You know what that tells me, Zach? They know this receiver room wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Listening to Will McClay, they know this receiver room wasn't good enough. So, like all the back and forth online about lineman, receiver, I think it played out well for the Cowboys because they stuck to their board, got the best player available in their mind, but then they also realized this receiver room still wasn't good enough. Like, you could say you're going to run the air out of the ball all you want. You could run the piss out of the ball. This receiver room was not good enough, Zach. And the fact that Jerry Jones is calling his quarterback late in the middle of the night, telling him, "We got you," that should tell you all you need to know.
I've heard you and Sky talk about it, and people have this idea about Brian Schottenheimer that he is a like run the ball, but he's been under all these defensive head coaches. I think that everyone in that building, including Schottenheimer, knew that they weren't going to be able to be the offense that they wanted to be without another receiver. Like Tolbert wasn't going to cut it. And, Mike McCarthy could have yelled all day long. He was the same way. Like, we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball, run the ball. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to pass. Like, you just have to. So, like you said, they knew this receiver room wasn't good enough. Jerry knew it. Everybody in the building knew it. And everybody being so excited, it's the same way with the fans. We felt like we weren't going to be able to put up points, get Pickens, everything changes. We're all excited now.
Zach, I want to piggyback on something that you said. They couldn't be who they wanted to be. Bro, the West Coast quick game, all that stuff is cool. But at the end of the day, Zach, if you can't stretch the field, if you can't back defenses up, doesn't matter. Brandon Graham, I started a video when I did a long film session on, and we can close with this. Brandon Graham said, listen, we play Dallas, stop CeeDee Lamb, make everybody else beat you. You can no longer do that because George Pickens can beat you. He's an explosive play waiting to happen, and there just aren't enough good cornerbacks in the league. And who knows, man? Maybe the number 3 receiver will be Brevin Spann-Ford. I'm just saying, Zach. I'm just saying. Man, Zach, I'm just telling you, man, like every time we link up, bro, whether it's draft talk, whether it's whatever it is with me, you, and Sky, it is a beautiful thing. And now that we got George Pickens, man, I'm foot shiesty, man. I'm excited. And we got to do this. We're trying to solidify some things, guys, but it's sounding like me and Zach are going to go one day a week during the season and during training camp for you guys. So he'll be doing content on his channel. I'll be doing content on my channel. We're going to also make the Senior Bowl a mainstay. And just because we had so much fun out there, yes, and just because you guys are growing with us so much. So, like I said, man, it's been a breath of fresh air, Sky. Let me cut that because I don't want to say Sky. It's been a breath of fresh air, Zach. It's been a breath of fresh air, and like being able to talk to you, and we got OTA football, Zach. God,
dude, this is what we needed to get us through the offseason. We were going to be talking about something crazy by
Trayshawn Holden.
Yeah, we would have been talking about Trayshawn Holden, and it would have been a disaster. So getting Pickens definitely helps. And you guys comment down below if me and Foots do a show once a week, pregame, postgame. Which one would you guys?
Which one would you like?
Which one would you like to see? We could do it on a Monday after the game or whatever, postgame, or a day or two pregame. You guys let us know down below in the comments.
Please let us know, guys. And as always, thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. We love you all.
Love you all.
Peace.